connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on Good Morning Idaho on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, and this morning Idaho News 6 is bringing you more news with more reporters in more neighborhoods and stories across southwest Idaho and south central Idaho, including two news stories we want to tell you about this morning. In Canyon County, officials still have millions left to spend in American Rescue Act money. Neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez explains why the next major investment is public safety and speaks with paramedics about the benefits brought from that money. Also, you're likely familiar with junk mail, but wait until you hear this. A toll fee mishap was sent to me in the mail from a legitimate company, and other people are getting it as well. I walk you through how I battled the bill. That story at 5:45. But we start with continuing coverage this morning of national news. Charlie Kirk's accused killer could be officially charged in Utah as soon as tomorrow. As we learn more about the 22-year-old suspect, officials say he is not cooperating with investigators. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the details.
Hundreds gathered at the Kennedy Center in the nation's capital last night to remember Charlie Kirk.
I speak on behalf of the president when I say President Trump loved you, Charlie.
More details are emerging about Kirk's suspected killer, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Utah's governor says Robinson is refusing to cooperate with investigators.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating.
Sources say Robinson surrendered after his father recognized him in these surveillance images and urged him to come forward. Authorities say when they recovered the shooter's shell casings, they contained messages. One read, "Hey, fascists, catch." Another referenced an Italian anti-fascist folk song. Investigators also confirming they've now interviewed Robinson's roommate, with whom they say he was romantically involved.
His roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
Officials say Robinson had no military experience, but was proficient with a firearm. Multiple social media posts by his family show him posing with guns.
About 175 yards from the podium to the shooting location.
175 yards. And would you have to be a pretty proficient marksman to be able to make it, given those conditions?
Given the environment, that type of shot is not easy.
President Trump continues to blame only the left for political violence, not referencing the Democrats targeted in recent months. But other Republicans are striking a different tone.
You need to take the word radical and remove right or left. And radical coming from any direction is not good.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, the Trump administration is asking Congress for $58 million to boost security for the executive and judicial branches. It's also supporting an increase in security for members of Congress. Some lawmakers are now canceling events until they have a better handle on security. In addition, many lawmakers are demanding social media companies better regulate content specifically for children, pointing to the graphic videos of Kirk's killing shared online. The Utah Valley University campus is expected to reopen today. Mental health support will be offered to students every day through Wednesday. People who were on campus at the time of the shooting will also be able to pick up their personal belongings. Idaho News 6 will continue to follow the killing of political activist Charlie Kirk and bring you the latest updates. For up-to-the-minute coverage, visit our website, idahonews6.com, or use the Idaho News 6 app. All lanes are open on Highway 55 this morning after a vegetation fire broke out between Avamore and Horseshoe Bend. Idaho News 6 talked with the Eagle Fire Department, who said 3 fires started along the roadside and burned roughly 20 acres. No evacuations were reported, and the cause of these fires is under investigation.
Now, the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Yeah, my favorite thing this weekend was the Hyde Park Fair. It was so much fun. Did you see Brady's story where he's breaking open one of those geodes?
Yeah,
that's really cool.
No, that is so cool. And you got some tie-dye too.
Oh yeah, a lot of tie-dye.
Yeah, that we got to see in your story, which was awesome. But either way, what I think my favorite part of the weekend was the Cowboys winning the game. And I know we have a couple Texans here, so if you are waking up this morning and your team won and it's Monday, it feels like fall, It's going to be a really good start to our week. Now, waking up today, it is still going to feel sunny and in the 70s as we head into the afternoon. You've got an end of the week warm up though coming your way, so temperatures will slowly rise up. By the time we head also into our weekend, we have a slight chance of showers too. For today, and as you start to get ready for it, you may grab the light jacket this morning. You've got lower 50s as you head into 8 a.m. By lunchtime, we don't grow very much warmer. It's going to feel pretty nice and sit with the lower 60s. Plenty of sunshine throughout the day, so it's going to be a perfect day for a Greenbelt walk, or maybe just people who want to sit on the patio. Rolling.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Appreciate it. It's going to be a nice day, everyone. Get ready for that. Back to the news now this morning, and another legal claim has been filed against the Boise School District. This time, it's from a former student. Downtown Boise neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker spoke exclusively with Ashley Green and her mother, Emma, who say Ashley reported bullying and abuse to the district for years, and the district didn't do enough to protect her.
The claim filed this week alleges a years-long pattern, bullying, harassment, and even threats, with inadequate intervention by staff across LeBois Junior High and Timberline High School, and the principal while she was at Trailwind Elementary.
So I went up to her and I was like, hey, this is happening still. I don't know what to do. It's ruining my life. I don't want to be alive because of this.
Her mother, Emma, says Ashley's concerns were too often brushed aside, even though she says she was a constant presence on campus, volunteering and meeting with staff. The claim describes Ashley's elementary years at Trailwind, alleging the principal dismissed her pleas for help and at times physically struck her or dragged her to the office, leaving marks.
She would drag me from my classroom or from recess into her office, and it would leave marks on me.
By junior high, Ashley claims a close friend sexually harassed her and once held a knife to her back in the science lab, telling her not to tell anyone. The family says district staff failed to notify law enforcement or effectively enforce Title IX protections.
And telling my child that boys will be boys, that's not acceptable behavior.
The filing says bullying continued at Timberline. Ashley says she was suspended after calling a bully's parent for help. The claim seeks more than $1 million in damages. The Boise School District declined to comment for this story, citing ongoing litigation, although they emphasize the ongoing priority to protect the safety and well-being of all students.
Idaho News 6 will continue to follow this case. If you or your child has experienced similar issues in Boise schools, contact neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker directly through the information on your screen.
In Mountain Home, young leaders are reminding neighbors, you are more than you realize.
During Suicide Prevention Week and all year long, students in Mountain Home are leading the You Are More initiative, promoting mental health awareness and spreading hope through small gestures, buddy benches, and community partnerships, including the local Air Force Base. Their efforts bring the town together with residents and businesses showing support by wearing symbolic shirts and participating in events like the Fall Fest coming up October 10th.
The clock is ticking against TikTok. After the break, how soon U.S. users could lose access to the popular social media app as officials from the U.S. and China meet to discuss today.
All right, shout out Twin Falls, our neighborhood of the day. And as you wake up with us this morning, it's a chilly start. You've got lower 50s, and this afternoon, you stop at about 76. Going to be nice and cool to start the week, but by the end of it, we do warm up. I'll have all the details ahead.
Thanks, Sophia. 11 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at your national headlines on this Monday morning. President Trump says he is prepared to impose new sanctions on Russia, but only if all other NATO countries stop buying Russian oil and increase pressure to end the Russia-Ukraine war. In a post on social media, President Trump saying he believes the Russian-Ukraine war would end if all NATO countries stop buying oil from Russia and place tariffs on China of 50 to 100% for its purchases of Russian petroleum. The president has faced criticism for repeatedly setting 2-week deadlines for Russia to de-escalate and then allowing them to pass without any consequences. A final vote from the Senate is expected today to confirm whether or not Stephen Miram will become the Federal Reserve Governor. President Trump nominated Miram after Adriana Kugler unexpectedly resigned from the position last month. She had taken over as Federal Reserve Governor after Trump fired Lisa Cook, claiming she committed mortgage fraud. There's, of course, lawsuits involved with that. Miram currently serves as the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. Last week, the Senate Banking Committee voted 13 to 11 along party lines to advance Miram's nomination. An anti-monopoly summit begins today in Washington, D.C. The two-day event will feature conversations on things like AI, affordable housing, and taxes on small businesses. Policymakers, entrepreneurs, workers, and advocates are expected to attend the event. Many lawmakers will give speeches like Senators Chris Murphy, Ruben Gallego, and Cory Booker. Officials from the U.S. and China are in Spain today. They're trying to reach a trade agreement before a self-imposed deadline. And besides trade, they are also discussing TikTok. As Amy Kiley reports this morning, Americans could lose access to that app in about 2 days.
Negotiating TikTok right now.
The U.S. could ban TikTok from American app stores Wednesday. That's unless a non-Chinese company acquires it. President Donald Trump says officials from the U.S. and China are trying to reach an agreement for such a sale.
We may let it die, or we may, I don't know, it depends, up to China. It doesn't matter too much.
The ban stems from bipartisan legislation former President Joe Biden signed into law last year. It prevents TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, from maintaining ownership of the app. The law cites concerns over national security and data privacy.
A bipartisan majority in Congress wanted to see this TikTok app either sold, divested, or banned. And yet here it is still online.
The reason TikTok is still available in the U.S. is that Trump has delayed enforcing the ban 3 times. He could use an executive order to try and do so again.
His critics say it's one of the most egregious abuses of presidential power, basically claiming that he has the ability to nullify laws.
Trump credits TikTok with helping him win last year's election. He says he wants to reach a deal to keep it available to Americans.
I'd like to do it for the kids. They like it.
So he's recognizing the incredible popularity of TikTok, but he does seem somewhat agnostic about the future.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
In the North End, I'll take you to the 46th annual Hyde Park Street Fair. Thousands of folks from all over Idaho flocked to Camel's Back Park for the 46th annual Hyde Park Street Fair. I'm your neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey, talking to vendors and attendees about what makes this North End tradition so special.
Yeah. These are Mexican coconut geodes, and we crack them all over the Northwest.
Brent Stewart of Stewart's Gem Shop tells me they cracked hundreds of these geodes over the weekend at the street fair. The long-standing North End business is also celebrating their 80-year anniversary.
I think it's just such a unique thing in this neighborhood. You're right up at the foothills of Camel's Back Park. Just the setting is amazing.
Many people also came out to enjoy the multiple stages showcasing local bands.
We love it. Yes, it's fantastic.
So much food and so many art people doing their art and their crafts. It's amazing.
This year's fair featured 191 vendors, from food to art and everything in between.
It's exponentially bigger and more of a, an annual tradition, where it used to be just the hippies that lived in the North End.
Quasar has been working behind the scenes at the Hyde Park Street Fair since 1979, and this is his last year helping out with the event. But he says there's one thing that always sets it apart.
Because it's local. All my bands are local. The vendors are 99% local, so it's a labor of love for all of us.
Event coordinators tell me they estimate more than 20,000 people attended the street fair this year. Reporting in the North End, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, good Monday morning to you, Idaho. Your time right now is 5:17, and I hope you had a good and restful weekend. I know it's Monday. Sometimes we can have the weekend scaries, but at least we're starting a new work week together, and we're doing so in a really nice and cool way. So waking up this morning over downtown, you've got lower 50, so it will feel a little bit chillier as you head out and start the day. You won't notice too much change as far as the skies look, but we do have some showers that are exiting out just to our east. This is as you make your way out to Idaho Falls and Jackson. And also, notice this little pink right here? That's some snow flurries making their way over into Wyoming this morning. So how exciting is that? Now, closer to home, no snow just yet, unfortunately. But you are noticing McCall, Cascade waking up to some light and isolated showers. So while you head out there, you will run into that for your morning commute. For the rest of us, again, it's pretty quiet. It's just that cooler start to the day. We have this trough making its way across the Pacific Northwest. As it does so, what it's doing is promoting that northwesterly flow, and that's what's bringing in that cooler air that's really going to contribute to that nice afternoon that we have ahead today. Now, as we move through the end of the week, this will actually change to a different story. We actually start to see this upper level ridge down south build over the Pacific Northwest. As it does, this promotes that southwesterly flow. That's going to bring in all of that moisture up from the Gulf down here and also bring in a little bit warmer end to the week. So just a heads up, today is going to feel like fall, but by the end of it, it'll feel more so like spring throughout the afternoons. You've got 73 as you make your way out into Boise today, 74 in Mountain Home, 63 over in Stanley. And as we get ready for the next couple days, here's where our temperatures are taking us, to the mid 80s. So by the time we head into Tuesday, lower 80s, which is just right around near normal. We average about 79 to 80 as we wrap up the month of September. You'll notice that by the time we end into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, though, we get towards the upper 80s, and it's just updated. So that just shows us that we are going to end the week a little bit warmer than really what we are expecting normally for the month of September. On top of that, here's what your rain chances look like. They're very minimal for the weekend, but it's just something I'm keeping my eye on just because we have the weekend plans coming up. Maybe you're doing something outside. You've got this southerly portion of Idaho looking to see some slight chances of showers by Friday. Saturday, this is about 20 to 10% chance area-wide, but overall right now it still looks pretty dry. And as we head into next week, the warm weather looks to be continuing on. Our temperature outlook for September 21st through the 25th shows the entirety of the U.S. looking warmer than normal. But either way, you have today to enjoy that nice taste of fall. By the end of the week, the mid to upper 80s return. Into the weekend, we stick with about 87, and then we see temperatures return near normal by Monday.
I'm John Matteries. Many people don't consider meal kits for their dinners because they think they're too expensive. Well, I have some surprising new information about them that could be your ticket to big savings. Do you ever cook with meal kits? Well, a new survey finds a lot of people are hesitant to try kits like Blue Apron or HelloFresh because they think they're too expensive. But if you find yourself regularly turning to restaurants and takeout food for your dinner, well, meal kits could be your secret to save money.
Megan Haig enjoys shopping for fresh meats and vegetables.
I love to cook,
but she admits kits and prepared meals can be a real time saver.
It's great when places have healthy options or like nutritious, like nutrient dense options that are take and bake.
HelloFresh, Home Chef, and Blue Apron make up a small sample of meal delivery services that send ingredients and recipes right to your home. No grocery store required. But in a recent survey by CNET, most shoppers haven't tried them, saying the cost is holding them back. Surprisingly, though, meal kit costs haven't risen at the same rate as groceries. The site found a serving from Blue Apron was $11 compared to $9.75 at the grocery store for the same ingredients. HelloFresh was $9 per serving compared to $6.55 at the grocery store.
Yes, it is cheaper to go to the grocery store to make that meal, but we also have to think about the time aspect of it. Going to the store, coming home, prepping those ingredients, it really can start to take a toll and add up.
CNET's Daisha Milden says meal kits really save money compared to dining out.
Just thinking about how much money you may spend a few times a week grabbing lunch out or even ordering lunch in.
They also cut down on food waste by sending only necessary ingredients. So if you overspend on dining out or need help with food prep,
I know tons of people who don't have time or just can't do it, and so they need something like that.
Consider giving meal kits a try so you don't waste your money. John Matteries, Scripps News Group.
All right, thanks for joining us on Good Morning Idaho on this Monday. We've got a lot more to get to today. Here's a look at what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
They've dedicated their lives to serving others. Now a local clinic in Meridian is stepping up to serve them. I have more on the free brain scans being offered to veterans and first responders during Suicide Prevention Month.
In Canyon County, how federal ARPA funds are helping first responders keep up with growing demand.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey everybody, good to have you along. Hope you had a great weekend, everyone, and welcome to a Monday. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. This morning, Idaho News 6 is bringing you more stories from your neighborhood that impact you and your community. For instance, Meridian neighborhood reporter Allie Tripke shows us how a local clinic is stepping up to serve veterans and first responders during Suicide Prevention Month. And if you want to see how I'm working to get out of paying a toll fee from a legitimate company, albeit in California, a place that I haven't been through in years, stick around until 6:45. But first, let's get the latest on our weather with Sophia Cruz with a check on our weather. Pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge were pretty, though, I have to admit. But if you get one of those fee, mailings, don't fall for it, everyone.
I do get them, but they go to my home in Texas, and they often they go to my parents, and then I get a phone call from either my mom or my dad.
Right.
And most of the time, it is actually me driving.
And they're blaming you for doing something you didn't do?
Yeah, I didn't do it. It wasn't me on the toll. Yeah, they don't have any photos of me taking the toll. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But either way, as you head out the door this morning, for the kiddos walking into the bus stop, you'll need the light jacket for sure. You've got lower 50s heading into school. By the time you're coming home, it'll feel like a nice fall day with the lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine, so enjoy that first taste of fall that we're getting today. Sunny and 70, who doesn't love that? By the end of the week, we do have a slight warm up, and then we'll also be tracking some chances of really just light showers, it looks like right now, if we do see anything. So I have all those details coming up ahead. Roland?
All right, I did like the rain over the weekend, just a little bit. It was nice to see. Thanks, Sophia. Now to a story new this morning. Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez spoke with the Canyon County paramedics to hear how the agency is working to cut down on response time and keep ambulances on the road.
Canyon County still has millions left to spend from the American Rescue Plan Act before the 2026 deadline, and one major investment is in public safety. Behind me is one of 8 brand new ambulances the county purchased with federal relief dollars. I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez, and I'm looking into how ARPA funds are helping first responders keep up with growing demand. With $44.6 million in ARPA funds to support public services and infrastructure, Canyon County prioritized upgrades for paramedics, replacing old ambulances.
We did receive about $2.5 million to purchase 8 new ambulances. We have 8 frontline ambulances, and those 8 ambulances that we're replacing were anywhere from 7 to 10 years old, some of them up to 275,000 miles on them.
Chief Michael Stahl says the new ambulances are already keeping crews on the road instead of in the shop. They also include updated gurneys designed to prevent both patients and paramedics from getting hurt.
The ergonomics on those gurneys are much better for our staff, and the number one injury that can take out a staff member is back injuries. So having those new gurneys as well, the load system in them, that all came from those ARPA funds.
Ambulances aren't the only ongoing projects funded through federal dollars. As we reported, the county broke ground on a $27.6 million sheriff's office headquarters in January, consolidating all operations under one roof. Sheriff Kieran Donahue called the federal funding a gift at exactly the right time as the county continues to grow.
This building will take us well into the future. We are very, very excited. It's been a long time coming.
In February, the county opened its new elections building, a 16,500 square foot facility for early voting, election training, and secure ballot processing. ARPA funds also helped replace the roof at West Valley Humane Society, in a county-owned building supporting community services. Stiles says the public can already see the benefits on the road and in the community.
This is something tangible. They can literally see a new ambulance going down the road and see that, oh, those ARPA funds didn't just go to something that who knows where they went. Was the government spending money on? An ambulance is a tangible thing that can benefit them personally.
Chief Stiles says federal ARPA funds are covering costs for new ambulances, so they can save levy override funds for expanding services and building stations. They have about $8 million still available. Reporting in Caldwell, I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez for Idaho News 6.
A 25-year-old airman is dead following a motorcycle crash near Pine on Sunday afternoon. Idaho State Police say she lost control in a curve near milepost 14 and was separated from the motorcycle. The Mountain Home Air Force Base says she was assigned to the 366 Fighter Wing. Idaho State Police will investigate the crash.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. It's an important time to highlight a troubling reality. Veterans and first responders face higher rates of suicide and mental health challenges. One local clinic in Meridian is stepping up, offering free brain scans to support those who have served our communities.
Yellow right there on the temporal lobes, that's indicative of head trauma.
After decades in law enforcement and time in the military, Gary Walker is putting his health first.
Because I had 28 years in law enforcement and then, my stint in the Army, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of damage has been done or not been done.
An EEG brain scan can measure trauma, injury, PTSD, and more. And it can be the first step in understanding how to help people most at risk.
Brain health issues have never been more critical.
Chad Woolner is a doctor of chiropractic at Align Integrated Medical Clinic in Meridian. He's leading a brain health initiative by offering free brain scans for first responders and veterans.
They deal with an abnormal amount of stress and an abnormal amount of challenges, and as such, we see, unfortunately, I think a disproportionate number of suicides amongst veterans.
We suppress a lot of things. We just kind of push it down and then move through to the next activity. And I think this way we have an opportunity to see what might be going wrong and what we can do to help.
Knowing that there is just such a massive need, we wanted to make it as accessible as possible.
The clinic is offering the free brain scans and other resources for veterans and first responders throughout September. And remember, if you or anyone you know is struggling, you can dial 988 to connect with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for immediate help. In studio, I'm neighborhood reporter Ali Tripke for Idaho News 6.
Expect lane closures and possible delays if you're headed to the airport this morning. Construction crews are working to replace a storm drain pipe under Airport Way. The entrance to the airport will be reduced to a single lane every morning from midnight to 9 a.m. for the next 4 weeks. Boise airport officials recommend travelers account for extra time, both for departing flights and passenger pickups.
The battle to eradicate the quagga mussel from the Snake River continues.
We have a 50% reduction in the footprint that is impacted by quagga mussels on the Snake River.
I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, checking in with ISDA as the agency continues its fight to get to 100%.
This morning, an investigation from the Wall Street Journal is raising concern about the number of flights with toxic fumes on board and the potential health consequences.
Our union has been concerned about this for decades, and we've been concerned about it because of the very real life consequences that crew members have faced because of contaminated bleed air.
On most planes, air is pulled in from the outside through engines using a system known as bleed air. If any seals are worn or degraded, oils from lubricated bearings enter the air and vaporize in the heat, releasing unknown quantities of toxic compounds. According to the Wall Street Journal, over the last 20 years, a neurologist has treated about a dozen pilots and more than 100 flight attendants for what's being described as brain injuries after alleged exposure to fumes on planes. The incident spiking in 2017, reportedly driven in part by leaks on the Airbus A320. The Journal, citing internal documents, reports Airbus loosened maintenance rules after suspected fume events to get planes back in the air. In response to the report, Airbus tells ABC News its aircraft are designed and manufactured according to all relevant and applicable airworthiness requirements. Back in February, smoke filled the cabin on this Delta flight, forcing the Boeing aircraft to make an emergency landing.
We need manufacturers to be required to make airplanes that either have the filters or create a system where we're not using this bleed air as the means of recirculated air in the cabin.
In response, the FAA telling us studies have shown cabin air is as good as or better than the air found in offices and homes. A recent bipartisan bill proposed in Congress would require specialized filters on planes. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
All right, our neighborhood of the day is Twin Falls, and as you head out for your morning here, you've got lower 50s, going to be a chilly start to the day. This afternoon, we stop at about 76. Enjoy the nice sunshine and the cool weather as we head into the end of the week. We've got a warm up on the way.
The quagga battle continues right here in the Snake River as state ag officials say they are making progress, but there's still a lot more to do. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, checking in with ISDA as the agency plans their next steps to completely eradicate the invasive species.
I don't want anyone to leave with the impression that ISDA is waving the victory flag, because we're not.
Idaho State Department of Agriculture Director Chanel Tewalt says recent tests show no signs of quagga mussels in the Snake River section below Shoshone Falls to the Centennial waterfront, but areas above Shoshone Falls to the Twin Falls Dam still show infestation.
We have a 50% reduction in the footprint that is impacted by quagga mussels on Snake River.
First detected in 2023, ISDA says they were hoping to have 100% eradication by now. But with any invasive species eradication effort, it's a battle, and an end date is impossible to know. But Tewalt says the small victories add up.
A 50% reduction in this species is significant. Frankly, when it comes to quagga mussel management, we don't know of any other examples across the nation where we've had that level of decrease. However, we're laser focused still on eradication.
That work includes another round of copper treatment.
But our active treatment areas are going to be above Twin Falls Dam, all the way up until the river really narrows. And then from Twin Falls Dam down to Shoshone Falls is an active treatment area. And that is 2 parts of the river compared to the 4 parts of the river we were treating last year.
Now, with more treatment in the works, water samples the USGS collected in 2023 showed the copper-based treatment killed off invertebrate species in the immediate area by as much as 94%, something ISDA knew was inevitable from day one. But they decided early on letting the quagga win was not an option.
We want people to know that we are making a dent. We are making progress, but at the same time, we have more work to do.
ISDA says they are still working out the details, but do plan to conduct the next 10-day round of treatment in late September or early October. Reporting from Twin Falls, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
You've probably gotten a scam text saying you didn't pay a toll, but a new mishap is coming through the mail from a legitimate company. I'm going to walk you through how I battled the bill and what you can do if you get a claim for tolls in your mailbox. California is accusing some Idahoans of visiting the Golden State and not paying their tolls. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, and I got this toll notice in the mail from a legitimate company called Fast Track in San Francisco. And needless to say, I wanted to get to the bottom of it. Let's face it, I've paid my share of pothole repairs from various tickets over the years, but when San Francisco-based Fast Track sent me a toll notice with the wrong license plate, I was a bit miffed. So I called the complaint line.
Thank you for calling Bay Area Fast Track. Did you sell a vehicle? Or
No.
Did you get a loaner?
No.
A leased?
No.
Did you get your car worked out? No.
No. The response?
So you may have to dispute this online.
But I asked, why should I have to do all that? Just because you made an error.
We didn't make an error.
Despite what the Fast Track employee had to say on the phone, my car here does not have the license plate number that they listed on the bill.
Is it kind of red color? Because I'm seeing red.
No, it's silver. She's seeing red. What about me? My car, as you can see, is silver, and the car in the picture isn't even the same model. It's a Honda Pilot. So I called John Goodwin, Assistant Director of Communications for Fast Track. So what is this, a mistake?
Yeah, this is a mistake.
In California, cameras capture license plates of cars that don't pay tolls, and then Goodwin says they send the information to the out-of-state DMV to track the driver down. Only I asked Idaho DMV if they provide driver information to Fast Track, and Britt Rosenthal of the DMV sent me this statement. Quote, "We don't know how they obtained your information, but we can confirm it didn't come from us." So this left me back where I began, a legitimate company thinking I did something that I didn't do. And in California, if you don't pay after 2 notices, you cannot register your car again. Is there any indication that could happen to an Idaho driver?
And that's a great question. And I am simply, Roland, not smart enough to answer that.
Fortunately, Idaho DMV says they won't hold local drivers responsible for California tolls. But for peace of mind, Goodwin says just fill out the contest section on the back of the bill and send it in. And that'll take care of it?
It should take care of it.
And for those like me who have an aversion to sending personal information to things that resemble online toll booth scams,
If you get mail from Fast Track, it's going to be legit.
Goodwin couldn't give me details on how often this happens, but a quick check online shows I'm certainly not the only one. Reporting in Nampa, I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, good Monday morning, Idaho. And as you wake up with us this morning, it's nice to see your face. It's a new work week, and we're starting it off a bit cooler. So you'll notice that as you head out the door this morning, it is a little bit chillier. We have this northwesterly flow bringing in all of that cooler air. Also a front moving through that'll really cause those showers to exit off just to our east. So right now our radar is pretty quiet in terms of the Treasure Valley and Magic Valley, but if you make your way out into Idaho Falls and Jackson, further to the east, that's where those showers are exiting, and even a bit of snow making its way into Wyoming right now. Over in McCall and Cascade, there are a few light and isolated showers rolling through there, so you'll notice that on your morning commute, but for much of us, it's just going to be a cool start to the day. As far as what we're sitting with right now, you've got 73 into this afternoon, 74 over into Ontario, mid-60s, heading out into your mountains this afternoon. Going to be nice and cool, so enjoy that first taste of fall. By the end of the week, we'll see a gradual warm up. Right now, again, we have this upper level trough making its way across the central U.S. This is promoting that northwesterly flow. Right behind that, you start to see this ridge from the south build up, so that's going to bring up that southwesterly flow towards us, and we see that southerly air. We know it's going to be hot and dry. Now, hot is a little bit of an overstatement, more so warm, but either way, it is going to bring up that moisture from the Gulf, and as it does, that'll increase our rain chances, it looks like, into our weekend. Now, either way, it is still going to be pretty comfortable into the week ahead. We don't really warm up too much until we head into about Wednesday. By Tuesday, we're still sitting with the lower 80s, and that's well near normal. You've got 79 to 80 as an average high for the month of September. When we start to get really past that, it's about Thursday. So we'll hit about 88 into the end of the work week, then 87 by Friday. Saturday, also 87, and then by next week, we don't return near normal until we head into Monday. And even then, it's still at about 82, so it's still a little bit of ways away from that. Now, we do still have those chances of rain in terms of Friday. This is going to be mostly isolated towards our southern areas. By Saturday, it looks like this gets anywhere from 10 to 20%, but I think it'll be mostly dry this weekend so far. This is just a heads up though, because it looks like there will be a possibility for us to run into a bit of rain into our weekend. Now, our temperature outlook, this is where things get interesting. So as we make our way into next week, this is September 21st through the 25th, really what this shows us is that the entirety of the U.S. is expecting above average temperatures. On top of that, our precipitation doesn't follow too far behind. We're wetter than normal, so that means we could still see a few rain chances into the end of the month. Now, either way, no rain for today or even in the next couple days. It's just mostly going to start warming up until we head into our Wednesday, 86 by then, Thursday and Friday, upper 80s, and then your weekend right now, we will be still tracking those isolated rain chances. So I'll keep you updated as we move through our week together about that. But it is Monday, so let's get you ready to head into work and school.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
6:50 is your time, and we're giving you a live look of downtown where it's a quiet start this morning. It's Monday, so as you get ready to head out the door, here's where we're looking at some areas of slowdown. Carter Road as you make your way into that westbound lane. Also on Caldwell Boulevard if you're heading in that southbound lane. I-84 as you approach North Franklin Boulevard, and as you're going into the west or eastbound lane, excuse me, this is as you're going into downtown. You will run into some stop and go there, so just a heads up, it is starting to get a little bit busier as you make your way into your Monday. We were looking at a little slowdown on East Shinnon Boulevard, but it looks pretty quiet out there right now if you're traveling on that lane. Closer to downtown, you run into some slowdown also on West Myrtle Street.
Valley County's rock fire was too close for comfort for the folks at Tamarack Resort. The resort's infrastructure and 450 homes were within a mile of flames. So coming up tomorrow on Good Morning Idaho, our senior reporter Don Nelson gives you the first look at the damage the rock fire left behind. That's tomorrow at 6:45, only on Good Morning Idaho.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
In this morning's
This morning's GMA First Look, it's the inspiring story of friendship playing out on the sidelines of tonight's Monday Night Football game.
It's always been love when I've seen him, and we always had a good connection.
Aziz Al-Shire! Houston Texans star Aziz Al-Shire and the coach who changed his life when he was just a teenager. This year, reunited on the same team. And this morning, they're telling their story to GMA.
So now you're pulling the rope in the same direction. You're on the same team here. What is that relationship like, the working relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I get to see him every single day. I get to smile, get to say good morning to him, get to compete against him. We get to talk out on the field. There's a plenty of interactions.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more with NFL star Aziz Al-Shire. Plus, Troy Aikman joins us live for our GMA Monday Night Football Countdown. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Houston.
I love football season. Hey, it's 5 minutes before the hour, everyone. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. We're just wrapping up here. In case you missed it, these are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. It's an important time to highlight a troubling reality. Veterans and first responders face higher rates of suicide and mental health challenges. One local clinic in Meridian is stepping up, offering free brain scans to support those who have served our communities.
An EEG brain scan can measure trauma, injury, PTSD, and more. And it can be the first step in understanding how to help people most at risk.
An update in Twin Falls as state officials announce a small victory in the multi-years fight to eradicate quagga mussels from the Snake River.
Recent test results show a 51% reduction in the footprint where quagga mussels are being detected. ISDA says the recent tests show no signs of quagga mussels in the Snake River from below Shoshone Falls to the Centennial waterfront. But areas above Shoshone Falls to the Twin Falls Dam still show signs of infestation. ISDA plans to treat the river one more time this year, expecting to start late September or early October.
Thousands of folks from all over Idaho flocked to Camel's Back Park for the 46th annual Hyde Park Street Fair. The event highlights local vendors, local food, and local music in Boise's North End. They estimate more than 20,000 attendees came over the weekend.
So that pulled pork, and both Sophia and I said, we're hungry. Of course, you can learn more about all these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
All right, it's 6:57, and as you get ready to head out for your morning, maybe you're getting some breakfast, you've got lower 50s through 9 a.m. By the lunchtime, we'll be sitting in the mid-60s, so still pretty nice and cool. This afternoon, we stop at the mid-70s, so it's going to feel like a nice fall day. Now, if you want to read more about the forecast, you can head on over to idahonews6.com. But for now, let's go take a look at your morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
Okay, it is 6:57, and as you start to make your way out into I-94 eastbound, slow down as you approach Cherry Lane, so just to head it up. And then we also still have some slowdown as you're heading out into that westbound lane in Karcher Road. Drive times have increased. You'll notice I-94 Caldwell to Garrity sits at just about 40 minutes. Garrity into Eagle under 8, and Eagle into downtown Boise coming in at under 7. So it's a busy Monday rolling.
Yeah, it certainly is. And boy, it was kind of weird to see thunderstorms going through yesterday.
Yeah, there were some thunderstorm chances in the forecast, and it was pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, no question about it. A nice mix. But fall is here. Thanks, Sophia. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, we will look forward to seeing you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.